Good morning, everyone. It's Lucy here. Just hoping that your Saturday morning is going well. It's a bit dull here, so I've got the lights on, so hopefully I won't create too many shadows. I've created these little cards because I was playing around. I thought I'm going to experiment. I loved this painted stripes background stamp. And I kind of thought, right, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I had some time the other day and I thought I'm going to have a play. And to me, when I looked at those stripes, I thought, I don't want exact stripes. I want them to be, I don't know the word, a little bit more abstract, not really crisp. So I used water to sort of create stripy but not stripy. So this one you'll see here, I'll show you the comparisons. So you can see here it's a little bit murky, but again you've got the background over it. With this I wanted to showcase the showcase more the background and the bleeding out of colours. So I'll just show you, again, it's just playing. You're never ever going to get the same effect, and that's the joy of creating something that's unique. Okay, now you also might see on here, this little one here, which I just was trying to find that beautiful die, is one of the new dies coming in May, in the May catalogue. So this is a little sneaky peek for you. So I can't find this one, so I'm going to use another one from the set. How beautiful is this fern? How delicate is that? So we're going to use that one instead to create this card. So the other backgrounds the other stamps that I've used in the background are from the beautiful textured note stamps. So these stamps were in the online exclusive that began in March, that came out in March. So these are still available. So if you like them, you know who to contact. So just message me or let me know. And then these are the dies that come with it and in the bundle. So if you can buy them separately, or you can buy them as a bundle and you save 10% when you buy them as a bundle. So aren't they beautiful? All the different borders on the dies. So, and the good thing about it too is that we're going to use this one today. This actually goes through the little mini Stampin' Up die cutting machine. So, again, how good is that? That, something so big will actually fit through the mini machine. So what I'm going to do is just show you the technique that I've used. So these are the colours that I've used for these different cards, if you like the colour combination. So we've got Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo. Then for this one, we've got Merry Merlot and Crushed Curry. And then for the blue and green one, we've got Pretty Peacock and Old Olive. I think that colour combo has been my favourite. But you can, again, try out, have a play with the colours that you like. So I've just got some leftover strips here from cutting down some cardstock from a 12 by 12. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop these away. Oh, and then I've used the pebbled path for the stamping. So if we just open up our ink pads, pop that aside for the minute, get our little mat. Oops, and again, that was good. That was a good bump. Who bumped the camera, Lucy? Okay, so you're just going to smush some ink onto a mat or a piece of plastic, whatever you've got handy that's non-porous, of course. So you want to put them close together, but you don't want to put on top of each other because you don't want to contaminate the ink pads. And then you're just going to hold your mat up and spray so that the colours kind of dribble into each other. And then you want to ink across, water across the middle of it so that there's no definite gap between those two colours. You want them to blend into each other. Now, the more water you get on there, the more watery the effect's going to be. If you don't put much water on, again, try it. See what you like. So let's try this. So that's a fair amount of water on. And so you're just going to pop your stamp on and give it a little bit of a swish. So just a little bit of a turn backwards and forwards. And then on our cardstock, we'll just stamp down. So that's what I've got. So then you can dry that off. So just dry it off. Put it down, get my heat tool going. And you can see the waterier it is, it then starts, you can sort of let it run a bit more. You can see here on the top line, it was quite inky. There wasn't much watery effect on that. I'll just dry it off a bit more. But I love how the colours just bleed into each other. I think that's done. So I'll give you a closer look. So you can see it's still a little bit wet there, but you can see this texture here. Like I really love that sort of, those watermark kind of textures that come out, and all the different shades that you're getting in there. Now, if you like, you can then, I would say normally get a paintbrush to do this, but we've got our fingers. I couldn't find a paintbrush. I forgot to add that to my bits. So you could just spritz it with a bit of colour. Now I'll have my inky prints there everywhere, and we can dry that off. And if you really wanted a more organic look, and again, this is just playing. Remember, we're playing. We're just creating, just with scrap pieces of paper. It's nothing of value. We're not using $100 cardstock. We're playing. Okay. Now, I hope you could hear that all over the. So we could just. I'm quite happy with that, but I want to show you that you could just keep going a little bit more. So you could actually smoosh down onto your little mat as well and get some bigger dots going on. And especially if you wanted to get some more blue into the green area. They're a bit wetter, so they're just taking a bit longer to dry. Oh, they really are taking a while to dry. Come on, you can do it. That little stubborn one there on the corner. Okay. So I'll just show you those dots, and like when you look at them, you can see the line here. Like, look at the little lines that have come in, the texture that has been created there, and this little one here too. So I just, oh look, I've just dragged that. So you could just drag with your finger as well to, if you want to move things. Okay, so I think that's quite cool. I'm happy with that. But what I also want to show you is that we can, if you're thinking, oh, that's too bright and vibrant, what we can do is just add, we can add a bit more water. Now, just remembering, because you want to think, right, that's the green area, that's the blue area, that's the blue area, that's the green area. So we want to keep that together so we're not mucking it up too much. We're basically keeping the same colours in the same area. Otherwise it does get a bit muddy. And then we'll just stamp down again. So you can see then this is a lighter version of what we've got up the top there. So you can just keep reusing your ink that you've sprayed. You can, let's see if we can get these dots running a little bit more. I like what's happening across here and across there. That sort of, we're getting rid of, you know, those, the harsh edges of the line. Okay. So I'm just going to put that aside to dry. But the other thing that I found is when I was playing, I found that if you, I was creating the scrapbook layout, which I've got here. I'll wipe my inky fingers off though, so I don't get it all over the wipe. So this is the scrapbooking layout that I've used. You can see page 1 and page 2. So I've created the background, but it's looking really washed out. Like those stripes have kind of almost disappeared. They're there, but they're very subtle in the background. So what I did is when I stamped, it was too obvious, and the join lines across were too distinct. So what I did is I stamped down and then I stamped down again. Okay, so you can see that there's kind of joins here where the stamp has, now some people might not mind that, but I kind of wanted it to look like a continuous thing, and I didn't want that to be there. So what I did was I just got my spritzer and I kept spraying. So I kept spraying until it melded everything in a bit more. And again, it was, of course, on my page it was darker, but you can kind of see the effect that you can spray as much as you like, and the stripes are still going to be there, but it's going to be a little bit more of a melded kind of effect. So that's another little thing that you can try out if you're wanting to create a border for a scrapbooking layout. Okay, dokes. So let's put this messy stuff away. Oh, heavens, we've got a real mess here. So I'm going to take this away and turn my little mat over so that we can see more clearly. Okay, so first up, I'm going to die cut. So again, this is the advantage of, we could have pre-cut this and then stamped onto the die cut. But when you stamp onto scrap, it then allows you to move the die. See, I don't really like this stripe here. So this just gives you a little bit more freedom where you can move your die into the area that you like the most of. So I'm quite happy, although I do like, no, I want a bit of this because I prefer the blue. I was thinking about, I like this line here, but it's just, yeah, moving it around until you're happy with what you've got. Then we get out. Oh, I love this. How cute is this little mini Stampin' Up die cutting machine? I love it. It is just so handy to pass around the table or to take away with you. Like if you're going away, you can easily pack that in your luggage if you want to do a bit of crafting while you're away. Now the only thing is, I think that's going to be a bit too wide, so let's just cut it down a bit. So yes, the die will fit, but I've cut the cardstock too thick. So I'm gonna, oh, I do like those dots there. So I'm just gonna cut down, of course I've got the scissors back to front. Okay, so I'm going to plonk that on there, and I'm just going to use a little bit of washi tape just to hold it in place. Pop that in. When you're doing your, oh, plonk around that right way, Lucy. When you're doing your die cutting, just what I find, it goes through the machine easier if you've got these slightly off kilter. It just seems to go in and go through more easily. Okay, oops, come on, you can do it. Now it's going to make a liar out of me. Oh. There we go. Dearie me. It's always when you're demonstrating that something like that happens. There we go. Done. So that's cut that out really nicely. And you can see that lovely little border effect. Okay, so then we've got our card. So we're just going to fold that in half. So I'd normally have a piece of paper here, but as you can see, that went by the wayside as I dropped my ink everywhere. So just going to, using the pebble path, we're just going to pop a couple of little leaves on the two diagonal corners. And then we're going to use the bigger leaves with the pebble path again. Now again, it's up to you which way you put it. I'm kind of, grass is green, sky is blue. So I'm going to put the blue up at the top. But again, it's abstract. So you do what you like. Okay. And then you can, I'm going to stamp that off. I would normally clean that before I go into another ink pad. So I've just, on this one, I've used the blue, the peacock. So we're just going to ink up with the peacock, and we're just going to bring a little bit of the blue leaves in. So as much as you like. But you don't want it to do too much, because then it gets a bit too busy. So probably these dots, probably I went one step too far, because you kind of are losing the foliage with the dots. So it's kind of playing around and not maybe overdoing it. But again, it's what you like. So then it's, what are we doing? We've got our little die cut. So we're just going to put, and see how the black just comes up. It just pops. And then you can add your little sentiment. And of course, I've forgotten to bring the little strip to die cut. So again, this is one of the die cuts that comes in that set. So I hope I've inspired you to have a play, and if you like any of these products, please feel free to contact me, and I'm very happy to order them for you. Or you can order yourself, and just make sure you're shopping with Lucy Jones. The other thing I wanted to mention too is that the Stampin' Rewards are here. So for every in Australia, it's $35. So when you spend $35, you then are gifted $3.50 of Stampin' Rewards. So every order you place, you then receive 10% of that order back in Stampin' Up rewards, which you can claim on a later order. So you can accumulate them for up to 12 months. And then spend them when you like. You will need to set up an online account, but again, I'm happy to help you with that, and happy to explain that all to you. So happy crafting, have a wonderful day, and please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Okay, bye.